Today is Sunday, January 7th, 2024. The buyer was going to pick up the Tesla either Friday or Saturday, but there was a delay and they ended up coming today on Sunday. And that's it. I mean, it's gone. It's no longer here. And the reality is starting to set in. I'm sitting in the Tesla one last time. The buyer's going to be here this morning, and this is way too early for me. But I was up late last night cleaning out the Tesla, getting the water bottles out of here and vacuuming, and now it's time to let it go. And I got to let go of this, a little key fob. Okay, it drove away. So that's it. Just sitting in here one last time. Gonna give the new owner a water bottle, a parting gift. That's pretty much it. So I guess that's my last time I'm sitting in here. I gotta find where that key fob went. I didn't have my breakfast yet. The buyer is coming to get my Tesla in a couple hours. They'll be here around 10 a.m. I was doing a lot of cleaning last night, getting things out of the Tesla. And I have to now change out the wheels, which is gonna take me about 40 minutes or so. I gotta change them out because when I advertised the Tesla, I used a picture from before I moved here, and it had different wheels on it. And the wheels it had on it are right here, these right there. New tires on them. So these are gonna go on there because that's what the buyer's expecting. So I gotta do all that. These are the long range tires and wheels, you know. So we gotta put those on there, swap them out. Because these I'm putting on eBay because I can get about $3,500 for the set of those. They're like $6,000 brand new for those wheels, the entire combination. So that's what I gotta do. So maybe I'll be able to sell and get some money off of these on eBay or Facebook Marketplace so that I can get me another car. The timing couldn't get any better than this. I was literally starting to remove the first wheel on the Tesla, and the buyer calls me to let me know he's gonna be here around 10:30 a.m. today, and I told him that I was in the middle of swapping out the wheels because I had the Arachnid 21-inch performance wheels on the Tesla, and I had to put the long-range wheels as pictured in the listing back on the Tesla. And he's like, "You have the 21-inch Arachnid wheels?" And I go, "Yeah." He says, I'm gonna sell them on eBay, maybe get them like $3,500 for them. And he's like, "I'll pay you $2,500 cash. Just leave them on the Tesla." I'm like, "Okay." So you know what? I am so glad. These are absolutely necessary when jacking up the Tesla. Otherwise you could puncture the battery with the jack, cause a fire, and that would be the end of everything. And I'm glad that I put off doing the wheel exchange to the last minute. That way it just saved me unnecessary changing the wheels numerous times. You know, when I sent the pictures of this Tesla to the buyer, I sent pictures that I've taken from the old house that had the other wheels on it that I got back there. And it was just much easier using those pictures than it would be to have to change out the wheels just for the picture. So I did that. So the buyer was expecting to buy it with those wheels, not realizing I had these Arachnid wheels. So that's a game changer now. But for the better. Just gonna grab me something to eat, and then I'm going to do the detail work, make it shine on the outside really good so that it looks just like the picture, except for it will have the wheels that it has on it now, which, you know, buyer's gonna be really happy when he comes here today. The buyer just called me. He told me he's running about 10 minutes behind. He said he'll be here in about 30 minutes. He said he's near a high school at an intersection where there's a lot of construction and traffic, and I told him I knew exactly where he was. And I said there's a better way to get here instead of going that way. And he told me he's not gonna take any chances by taking any alternate routes because he's driving a flatbed and he just wants to stick on the route. So I told him, when you get into this neighborhood, be careful because they are building houses. They do have vehicles on both sides of the road, so it can be hard to squeeze through. And I also told him there's a lot of these dead-end roads. And the road that goes by my house, it comes to an end. So it's best for him to park about a block away from the house before he goes any further. Otherwise, he may have difficulties trying to get out of here. So I figured I'd give him a heads up. So hopefully everything's going to work out and he's able to get here on time and I could finally just get this burden off my shoulders. I have mixed emotions about this whole thing. A part of me just feels liberated and a part of me feels sad. Then a part of me feels mad because I feel like I failed, like I could have done better. Why did I put myself in this situation? And I'm having trouble letting go of things. So these are a lot of feelings that I'm dealing with right now. Buyer just called and he's at the corner right now and he's walking over to the house. And the thing is, he's 10 minutes early, not 10 minutes late. So I don't know, maybe he thought he had to go further than he actually had to go, but I'm not complaining. So, okay, here he comes. Let me put this down. Most of my food's gonna come from food delivery now, unless I walk or ride my bike, which I pretty much accepted that that's gonna be the situation for a while. This is my garage now. It's just an empty garage. Well, there's stuff in here that I gotta get rid of. Stuff I gotta get rid of. That's how things go sometimes, It's part of life. But it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. It's just a little minor setback. We all deal with something in life that's challenging, and I made some poor choices financially and thought I wasn't going to be around because of cancer and other things, but I'm still here. Just got to be more conservative and not let my mind go in places where I think I need to spend money that I'm not able to take with me to the grave, and it's kind of where my mind has been for a while and caused me to spend money unnecessarily thinking I'm not going to be around. So it's kind of like I was putting this bucket list of things that I wanted to do together and things I wanted to do to the house and kind of get carried away. But there was a lot of unexpected expenses that really just blindsided me coming into this place last year. But that's just how things go. It's part of life. I'm just thankful to be here. I'm thankful for every morning that I wake. I am dealing with some medical issues and I have another test coming, and there's a lot of uncertainty in life itself, but I cannot let those negative thoughts control me. I am working on my emotions, and my health insurance has set me up with something that's going to help me. I am in a program online to help me with my stress and anxiety, things that lead to depression. And it's helping. There's things that I'm doing through this program. There's tasks and a lot of things. They also have me connected with a therapist. So I'm able to get the help I need through these programs that's backed by my health insurance. We all are going through things in our lives, and I'm gonna stay as positive as I can for 2024. So like I predicted, the Tesla is now gone. I have a bicycle. I have my 2 feet for now. Deliveries can come here for food. Doctor rides. I do get a couple of free rides through my health insurance for procedures. So that's covered. My neighbor volunteered. They're a retired couple. They live next door, which is about an eighth of a mile walk. They said if I ever need to go to the doctors, let them know ahead of time. They'll make sure that they're around because, they just are them kind of people. Very caring and friendly and hospitable. I've been there for 2 occasions, 2 holiday dinners. They're amazing. So in the meantime, I'm still looking for work. Been online looking for jobs, and I have a friend who might get me a security job. I'm waiting to see how that's going to work out. I gotta see if he can hook me up with that so that the interview can start.
Best interview I've ever been a part of in my entire life.
I'm gonna get the ball rolling, then I can ride with him. So who knows? But that's where I stand right now. Tesla's gone. I couldn't do anything with it, even though it was sitting in my garage, because legally it became the new owners after I signed the contracts online. So all that digital signing, once it was done, I'm looking at the Tesla in the garage for the last couple of days thinking, man, I can't even drive it now. I signed the contract, and I signed that on Friday. All the funds and everything cleared with the wire transfer. They were waiting for all that to go through, and everything got finalized, and I made that payment of $2,300 from my credit card just to clear the title so that the buyer can have it because they didn't want to budge that extra $2,300. So, you know, it's a very volatile market out there when it comes to vehicles. I bought it when it was in a hot market and it cooled off significantly. And then, of course, Tesla's values went down a whole lot because of politics and a lot of other BS. But that's just what happens. It's the way the world is. But all new plans for my life, you know. I know the next thing that's going to go is going to be this house if things don't work out. You know, I cannot keep going down this path of living in a place where my expenses are exceeding my income. And my income got cut even more. Thank you, January 2024. What's going on? Why is that even happening? Why is it getting worse? Like, this is what's happening to me. But anyway, on to the positive stuff. I'm going to share more of my positive adventures. And like I said, paranormal in my house, not a good idea. It's not a good idea for my mental health. I just think there's a side of that that just isn't good for many people. So I'm surprised some people continue to do that kind of content, considering that it could be compromising their mental health. Especially if they're doing this over-the-top paranormal with these over-the-top reactions. You have to start questioning yourself. Is this good for your mental health? All right. There is a gecko on the loose in this house, and you'll see in another video. I'll explain what's happening. Meantime, I got to go for a walk. I got plenty of water bottles, but wait a minute. Those are the empty ones. All right. It's going to be hard to get used to not seeing a Tesla right there. Man, these bottles were actually sitting in my Tesla. I had all these bottles in the Tesla from my road tripping, but now I can use my bike. So I got my bike right here. There's no Tesla in my driveway. I mean, in my garage. Well, yeah, driveway and garage. But I got my bike, so I should put my bike so it doesn't feel empty. I need to put my bike over here, so at least it won't be so be so empty anymore. Now I got my bike parked right there. Perfect. That's the way it's got to be. I got to go back in the house because I got to get a water bottle. I forgot I took all these out of the Tesla. Water bottle. I'm gonna do my night walk outside. All right, I gotta cross the street. Try not to get run over. You know, it's different without having a Tesla. I have to walk to the store. This is a pretty long walk, but hey, you know what? I need my steps. I need my exercise. So it is Sunday, the 7th of January, 2024. Well, it seems a cat just came out of nowhere. It's like a black cat. It just ran. As soon as I started walking, it just ran. I guess maybe it's looking for food somewhere. That's what it's doing. But gotta walk on this long road. Then it takes me to the woods. Then I'm walking in the woods for a while. And then I'll eventually get to where I need to get to, which is back home. I had to just get one thing, was a can of tuna. I feel so much better. It is still January 7th, 2024. I just got back from a walk and I hopped in the shower, changed and everything as I feel much better because I had to get a can of tuna from the grocery store. And I was walking to the garage and I'm like, son of a bitch, the Tesla's not there. You know, it's gonna take a while for it to set in that I finally don't have it. The buyer came by today and finally got it. Contract and all that stuff was signed a couple days ago. But I guess it's taken a while to sink in. So I had to walk and jog, do a high intensity workout, going back and forth between jogging and walking and running for a can of tuna fish. It's not like I can go online and have delivery made to have a can of tuna. I'm sure there's like Uber Eats or something or DoorDash. They probably could do it. It's gonna cost you a lot more money. So decided I better walk. Now, if I had a whole lot of groceries, then I would have to do like delivery because, you know, there's a store that does delivery. The Walmart does it. Publix does it. Kroger store does that. They will do delivery to your door. And then, of course, I do order stuff from Amazon, like my supplements, dried fruits, nuts, things like that. So there's certain things I get from Amazon. So the only thing I'm really missing is going in the store to get last minute things that I want to have now instead of having to wait for it to be delivered. Or if I need little things like this, I'm gonna have to go on my bike or walk. I was gonna ride my bike, but I don't have any kind of headlights or flashlights on my bike, so that would be a hazard at night. So it was just better for me to just go ahead and jog. I had my phone and I used the light on the phone, so I was able to do that. But I gotta go eat. I gotta have my tuna, and I also got some broccoli. I'm trying to be very careful about how much broccoli I eat. This is the last that I have. Normally I would have a whole lot of broccoli for breakfast, but now I gotta really be careful. So that's the situation. You know where a lot of stress comes from? When you decide you want to have nicer things in life. Like you want a nicer car, you want a nicer home, you want this or that. All those things are good if you're able to afford those things. But when you get nicer things, especially on borrowed funds, like when you have a loan for this or a loan for that, or you get something, but then you have to take a loan out against it, whatever situation you may be in, if you're not able to afford to keep it, then having those nicer things creates unnecessary anxieties. It creates a lot of heartbreak as well, because then you have to let go of something that you may have gotten used to, like a certain lifestyle, a certain kind of home, a certain kind of neighborhood, certain kind of vehicle. So if you live above your means, then you're never going to be happy. You're going to be miserable. You're going to have anxiety. Yeah, you might be okay in the moment. You might be living it up in the moment. You have this, you have that. Things seem nice. You enjoy those things. But then reality sinks in as time goes by and you realize that you're not in the financial position to be able to have those things or maintain those things. And that creates a level of anxiety, because then you're going to have to let go of those things. And it's only a matter of time. It's inevitable. So it's better to live at least below your means, maybe, like not above your means, not beyond what you can afford. It's better to buy things that are less expensive for your income than even something that is at your income level. So I feel like I would be happier having simple things, just living a more economical life, having a smaller home, an older, smaller vehicle that doesn't cost much. Don't have to worry about the insurance being so high. Don't even need collision, because it'd be a really cheap beater car, right? I feel like the simpler things in life, although won't have that extravagant feel, or you won't feel like you got something nice, at least the simpler things in life will help you live more in peace. Less worries, less stress, less anxiety. Yeah, you might want to have those nicer things, but then you don't have to worry about having those nicer things and then not being able to keep those nicer things or afford those nicer things while you even have them. And you're cutting corners and dipping into your savings, and then your future is at risk. Your retirement's at risk. Everything's at risk because you have nothing left, because you were living in now. And that was my problem, living for now. Thinking that my life is over because of cancer and other serious terminal illnesses. And look what happened, like heart attacks. Like ECG says I had a heart attack. And how many times did I have one? I don't even know at this point. So these are scary things. Life is short. So I guess that mentality I had was to live it up, and you cannot take money with you to the grave. So I was in that mindset of just spending because I figured I wasn't going to be around to worry about it, but I'm still here. And now I'm worrying about it. So I have to, I'm not worried that I'm still here. I'm glad I'm still here, but now I'm worried about the things that I thought I wasn't going to have to worry about. So that's why the Tesla's gone. The next thing, unfortunately, is going to be my home. I want to do what I can to keep it. Hopefully this job is going to work out. Hopefully I'll get this security job. It's not going to be a whole lot of money, but it's better than nothing. It's better than what I'm doing now, because I was complaining about $600 to $800 a month, but now January came and now we're down to about $300 a month. That's $300 to $400, I'm guessing, because everything just got right in half. So I don't know if it's a hiccup for January. Maybe things will be better in February, March, April. I don't know. Things are going on. You watch the news, you can see things are not going good in this world. So that could be what's happening. It's a domino effect, but I'm not going to let it destroy me emotionally. I got to stay strong. I got to stay as positive as I can. It's a new year, and this is why I'm doing these things. This is why I had to get rid of my Tesla. It's a new start. It's a refresh. It's me trying to let go of the things that are weighing me down. I feel like having the nicer things doesn't necessarily ever make you happy. It makes you worry more. It really does. Unless you're able to afford those things. Unless you have good income and you don't worry about potentially losing those things and never having them replaced, then, that's one thing. But for me, I could not afford to replace the Tesla if something were to happen to it. If it was out of warranty, I would never be able to afford to get anything done to it. Then I would have something I couldn't even use or sell. Maybe somebody would junk it. And keeping it, even driving, if something were to happen, then of course there's a big deductible. Where's that money coming from for insurance? And that was the thing. Even with the house, it's scary because So many things were wrong when I got the house. A lot of things I didn't see until after the fact, that it was a big expense that I didn't know I was gonna have. On top of me just getting a little carried away with doing upgrades. But part of those upgrades were already priced in mentally, but things just kind of got a little bit more expensive than I thought. I feel like sometimes contractors will kind of do bait and switch where they say it's this and then it ends up being that, and that's not fair. I did a lot of the stuff myself to save money, and some things had to be done. It was necessary, like a new air conditioning, new glass back there was expensive. The flooring, because of radon, I was like, there was cracks in here and there, and there was things that had to get done. Things with the plumbing, the electrical, there were things that had to be updated in the house just to make it to a certain standard that I was comfortable with. So that and the unexpected. It's called not thinking ahead far enough. Like I said, I'm not gonna let it stop me from being positive. Like I said, that's a little minor setback, but then again, I look at it as not being a setback. I look at it as being a step in the right direction, letting go of something that I really should not even have gotten in the begin with. I should have held onto the vehicle I had in the first place. I should have not have been juggling through cars over the years. I should have saved that money. I know I can't turn back time and undo all those fancy vacations that I spoiled everybody with. That's done and over with. A lot of money was spent on that, but I cannot go back in time and live more of a less extravagant life doing those vacations and stuff. But other people were part of those vacations. So it wasn't like I was doing that all for myself. I was doing it for everybody. But here I am now, and reality is hitting me. 2024. I didn't want to have a repeat of 2023. So 2024 is like, I need to make the decision. So it worked out good, the timing. Like, it's the 7th of January. Tesla's gone. I was thinking in 2024, I want to make sure the Tesla is no longer here so I don't have to worry about it, because I want to get out of those payments and the insurance and the upkeep of new tires, which would be like almost $2,000 for 4 tires. It's ridiculous. And it wasn't going to be much longer before those were going to have to be changed again. But that's just the way it is. I think a little Toyota Camry, Corolla, something economical. If there's ever a door dashing opportunity where I could do it on my feet or on my bicycle around here, I'll do that. But it's like around here, it's rural, it's middle of nowhere basically. So yeah, it's a 3-4 mile bike ride to the nearest store, which I experienced when I was doing my jog tonight. But that's just a store. People's houses, restaurants, all the other things that DoorDash provides. All the restaurants are not nearby. Yeah, you have some of your bigger grocery stores, but some people want food delivery from restaurants and stuff like that, and that's the majority. So if anybody ever wanted like groceries picked up, maybe that'll work, but I doubt I'm gonna have much of DoorDash without, having a vehicle. But other than that, I gotta go eat. I've been talking so much. I hope everybody's having a great new year, staying safe out there. I got more content. There is going to be, I am going to be exploring places. I do have some friends who I might be riding out with. So it's not over. I still will be able to go places and explore places. And I'm also going on my bicycle, and I will ride. If I have to go 10 miles, 15 miles on my bike, I will do it. And if I do end up going places that are much further, then I might be with somebody else. Might be with someone else doing that. Because I have some friends that I made in this neighborhood, and they like to go out on the boat. They like to do this and that. And I still want to explore some places that could potentially be haunted. Not like I really want to go down that road, but some of you like that, so I don't want to deprive you of that. So I want to try to at least still do that. But as far as like anything going on in here, for the sake of my mental health, I really think it's best not to continue with paranormal in my home, especially when I might be selling this to, and I don't want people to like get the wrong idea, and I don't want to make it more difficult. So that's how it is. Okay, that must mean something. That's right there. Why? This is crazy. Like, things that I talk about. I mean, that's a picture of what used to be my Tesla at the old house that I sold. But it's just weird that it happens to pop up on there like that. I don't know, it's just crazy that I saw it on there, the Tesla on the Alexa thing there, but I don't know. At least I don't have that target on my back anymore, I feel like having that Tesla, it's like painting a target on me. And now I could just kind of blend in and not be that target. You know what I mean? It was just another thing that stressed me out, was that whole having a target painted on me, driving a car like that, especially not being able to afford one. That just makes it even worse. Right now it is Monday, January 8th, 2024, and I'm working on another late breakfast. Hopefully I'll get this done by 4 p.m. Other than that, last night, walked over to the grocery store to get me a can of tuna. So that's something I'm gonna have to get used to for a while, was walking to the store for things, as long as it's little things. The big things, I'll still get my deliveries. But it's gonna be hard to get used to not having a Tesla anymore. But it's a good thing to get that burden off my shoulders, the financial burden, the car payments, the crazy insurance. Forget it. But I'm lucky that the buyer was interested in those 21-inch arachnids that I had on there, because I was going to swap them out and put the wheels on there that I was showing in the pictures, because that's what I was going to do to begin with. And I was going to sell those wheels on eBay and hope to get like $3,500. But I kept putting it off because I still was driving the Tesla at the time, and I was just making use of those wheels. And I guess I was just kind of living for now, living in the moment. And in the back of my head, I had this fear of putting it on eBay, and then somebody gets it and it's damaged, and then they try to claim that I sent them the wrong wheel or a messed up wheel, and then they try to scam me out of money. So that was the thing that was kind of discouraging me. And then I was thinking about putting on a Facebook Marketplace, and then I was worried about, people just coming and going. And a part of me is like, maybe it'll never get sold. So maybe it's a good thing that I was able to get rid of these wheels, and the buyer of the Tesla paid me $2,500, even though I was planning on getting at least $3,500, because I see other sellers out there were selling it for like $3,800, $4,000 for those wheels. I'm like, oh, well, I'll try to get 35, but we'll see what happens. But those wheels never even came on the Tesla when I bought it to begin with. When I first got the Tesla, it had those wheels that I had stacked up in the garage. It didn't have the arachnids. It had those long-range wheels. And so I ended up going on a trip to New Jersey to a guy who had these arachnid wheels. And I ended up exchanging my old Camaro wheels. And we did that. It was a transaction. And I ended up coming back with the Tesla wheels. Of course, there was a little bit of cash involved, but the bulk of it was the Camaro wheels, because he really wanted those Camaro wheels. So I ended up having those arachnids that I bought back, and then I put them on the Tesla, and then it's been on there ever since. And then I used the long-range wheels as a backup or for winter days. But now that I'm further south, it's not like I really needed to have those other wheels on there. So I kept the arachnids on the Tesla. But that's kind of how it went. So when I first bought it, those arachnids weren't even in the picture, but I wanted to have those, but they were too expensive to buy new. And lucky me, I had Camaro wheels at the time. And when you find someone who's willing to exchange wheels and a little bit of cash, hey, it works out. But that was a couple years back. But anyway, I got to go work on my breakfast so I don't starve today. I don't want to be eating too late, because then it's going to be time for dinner. Well, I had a late start because I was doing a lot of things, and I do kind of push off breakfast till later because I do the fasting. But got to eat. After I have breakfast, I'm going to go outside and go walking. I know it's not going to be a very pleasant experience today because it's a rainy day, it's cold, but I got to get my exercise. And one thing that I'm not going to be looking forward to is when I need to get a few things at the store and I don't want to have delivery and then pay delivery charges for orders under $35. I'm going to have to walk in the rain, and right now it's just cold. So that makes me want to get another vehicle faster. And I do have that $2,500 from the buyer who bought those arachnid wheels. I could use $2,300 of it to pay off my new credit card debt, because I had to charge $2,300 on my card in addition to the payment that the guy wired to the bank that was financing my vehicle, so that I'm able to release the title. So yeah, that cost me $2,300, but then of course I got the $2,500. So basically I'm $200 ahead. But technically still I would be upside down at that point, because the value of the Tesla was less than what the buyer was paying for it, and the wheels ended up being a separate transaction. So that's kind of how that worked out. But I'm tempted to go tomorrow and look at vehicles. I have to see if my friend's up to going anywhere. Maybe my neighbors, I'll see if they can ride me out there. Go to a couple of these car dealers, see what I can get for $2,500. I'll tell you what, I don't have to worry about getting full collision and comprehensive insurance on a cheaper car. So that would save me money. And not being a Tesla will save me even more money in insurance. And then no car payments. That's a lot more money I'm saving. Even though I was having this debt that was created with the $2,300, which is going to end up being credit card payments, those credit card payments are nothing compared to the Tesla payments and then the insurance payments. So it makes me wonder if I just spend that $2,500 on the vehicle instead of putting $2,300 back onto the credit card to zero out the balance, because then I'll have no vehicle. So I might just do that. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to go to the car dealer. There's a couple of car dealers. I'm just going to look online and see if I can find anything that I have interest in, then just go. Check the ads and see if anybody's selling anything used, because I might have a hard time trying to find something for $2,500 at a car dealer when I might find it easier with a private sale. But we'll see how that goes. So maybe by the end of the week, I'll have another vehicle. One of the big things that's hard for me is to deal with change. And I don't want to have the same thing happen again for 2024 that I've dealt with in 2023. And that was all the health anxieties and financial worries and just so many different anxieties that were just compounding. And I felt like 2024 is the year of acting upon my words. If I say I'm going to do this, I need to actually do it instead of procrastinating. I was talking about selling Tesla for months and then it never happened. And I finally put my foot down and said, you know what, this has to happen. I got to stop telling myself I'm going to do this and then it never happens. In fear of the change, or in fear of not having the Tesla, and fear of what am I going to do without transportation. All those fears were holding me back. So finally got past that hurdle, that one thing that was slowing me down. And I feel like that's the step I needed to take to move forward, get past that fear of that change. And maybe there'll be a more of a fulfilling life once I get past all these anxieties, one step at a time. I feel like the ownership of a Tesla became very stressful because it's a very high-end kind of vehicle and it's looked upon by the public as a vehicle that people who have a lot of money drive. And I did not want to give the wrong impression that I had a lot of money, because I surely don't. I'm like in poverty level income and I have no business driving a car like that. When I first bought it, I was doing a little better. And of course, in the past, I was doing very well. I was very fortunate financially, but that was a long time ago. And so some of that success allowed me to have cars like that. And I just kept on trading cars. And my credit was like, it's still good. My credit's good. But it's just one of those things where I feel like it was just time to live in reality instead of me living above my means. I had to find a way to stop doing that without feeling the pain of cutting it cold turkey. But sometimes you just got to do that. And I think the anxieties of me driving around in a Tesla like that particular model, which draws attention, and people will paint a target on your back, right? Oh, look, he's got money. Let's follow him home and rob him or something. Or we hate Teslas. We're going to vandalize a Tesla. We're Tesla haters. Or we don't like people who drive Teslas because they're snobby, they're rich. Let's vandalize the car. People think that you're this kind of person if you drive a Tesla, but they don't realize that it could be me, this person who's struggling, to make ends meet, and I could possibly lose my house, and I'm driving a car that's way more car than I can afford. People don't know that. They only just see things from the outside. They judge a book by its cover. And so that alone was creating a lot of anxieties, and I didn't want to have a vehicle because of that. I felt like it was a liability. It was a burden on my shoulders. So between that and the expenses of keeping it with the insurance and the car payments, and I just thought it was time to break free from that and get something much cheaper. So by the end of the week, I'll have a new vehicle if I don't end up paying off my credit card and a couple of bills that need to be caught up. I'll figure it out. Whatever it is, I'll try to make the best decision I can financially. Next thing is the house. Unfortunately, that's a reality that I'm dealing with, where I'm going to downsize again. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is focus on trying to find that job. And I'm not going to get hung up on waiting for, the opportunity with my friend who said I can be a security officer at one of his jobs. Until that happens, that happens. In the meantime, I'm still looking. And if I do find a job and it requires me to drive somewhere, then I'm gonna have to just go ahead and buy a used vehicle wherever I can buy one for $2,500 and get it over with and have transportation instead of burdening anybody to drive me here and there. So we'll see how it goes. A more positive outlook on everything. I can't be negative. 2024 is going to be a bigger positive year. At least I'm trying to make that a positive year, trying not to have as many health anxieties. I mean, I do have a lot of things going on with my health. There's a lot of uncertainties. It's still scary. Cancer is a very scary thing. So I don't like to say that word much, but I'm going for tests at the cancer center. So there's things happening. So it is stressful, but eliminating some of the other anxieties helps me cope with what I'm dealing with now. So hopefully, I get a clean bill of health in the end of all this. In the meantime, lucky to still be here after a close call after Christmas with my heart and all this stuff. And how many heart attacks did I have so far in the last 10 years? I don't even know, or 15 years. It's like, I'm just wondering. Other than that, all of you are amazing. I hope you stay safe out there. I know nobody really expects to have any kind of content revolving around a Tesla or cars. This is not a car channel, right? Everybody got used to me running around yelling at the walls, screaming, doing paranormal stalker kind of videos. But nobody's used to me, talking about and showing you what's happening with my whole Tesla, I guess, farewell thing. It's going to be hard to get used to not having the Tesla anymore. But like I said, it's not the end. It's not the end. This is the beginning of, I guess, less anxiety for me. So every time I look out there, I just see a road that I gotta walk on with my 2 feet until I get another vehicle. But that's something I gotta think about. But in the meantime, instead of me walking around talking about everything, I gotta finish my breakfast because it's almost time for me to have dinner soon. What am I doing? Okay, let me get this on my computer, start the editing. I have to eat. I feel like sometimes my priorities end up being out of whack. Like I get so pressured into, getting the video out there that I end up eating my breakfast late. And so now I feel like I need to share this with the world, and my breakfast is going to be much later because of that. But that's what I have to do sometimes to get a video out there in a timely fashion and fit it into my schedule, because I have other things I have to do today, and I might have to walk in the rain, not just for walking. We are in for some crazy storm. Right now it is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, and things are getting crazy out here. A lot of wind, thunder, power outages. I got the backup power and solar, so everything's fine here, but it's just crazy. I had to tighten things down so they don't blow away. So that's what's happening today.